There's all sorts of change afoot in the brand world. What I'm going to try and talk to you about is how to navigate through that, how to keep positive through that, and not positive like spiritually positive, but positive in the sense that this has happened before in this industry. I know it seems very real and very now that every headline is about the lack of drinkers, about the rise of non-alc, the rise of CBD and THC, the lack of bank funding, the lack of investors. It's a hard business, but you're in this room because you love this industry. We're all in this room because we love this industry. So because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it's hard. And if you don't have $1 million, it's a hard business to start off in. That is a fact. It's a huge number. So just for a little bit of levity, let's talk about what else costs $1 million. A brownstone, just up the road here in Park Slope. 10 years ago, 20 years ago. A Bugatti, a supercar, something that's totally unnecessary for sure. Oh, my first wife. A divorce from my first wife also cost $1 million. And launching a beverage brand. And you may think to yourself, I can do this for 100 grand. I can do this for 200,000, 300,000. Here's the reality. You can do it for $300,000. Okay, you got to have salespeople. You got to have depletion allowance. You got to have store activations. You've got to have pull through. So that means events and bars and all of those things. It is $1 million for a successful brand to launch and have traction. It's not the first sale that matters. It's not the second sale that matters. It's that third sale is how brands begin to develop. So that all in a bucket is roughly $1 million. Now you know that and you're still in the room. So let's talk about how we get through all that and why it's a challenge. I'm going to go positive in 1 second, but I want you to at least understand the state of play. Tighter wallets, we all know it, we all feel it. Down trading, the people that are really getting hurt, the generic beers, the regular stuff that has got nothing unique to it, those are the people that are going to get hurt here. And changing habits, we talked about it earlier. I'm a middle-aged guy. I drink less than I did just 5 years ago. And so, and my demographic, 45 to 55, sadly, is as a whole, drinking less, smoking more weed, taking more gummies, doing more better for you, and zebra drinking. So this big demographic is now turning against liquor. That's what's happening in the market right now. Distribution landscape, we talked about that. Fewer distributors. You know, it's interesting. It used to be that there were, when I grew up in the business, and my family's been in liquor since 1933. We were the first liquor license in Chicago after Prohibition. That turned into a whole series of liquor businesses. There was 30 or 40 distributors in Chicago, the second biggest market in the country, 30 or 40 distributors. Now, there's 3. There are 3. Yet, the amount of people that have applied for alcohol and tobacco license last year is 8% greater than the year prior. So more and more brands are coming to market and less distributors are there to receive them, to sell them. So what do, right? This is a huge, huge headwind. You can't open a distributor. That's not like a thing, right? You can keep making great brands, but then how do those brands make it to the shelf? How do those brands make it to on-premise? How do those brands make it to off-premise? And what does it all cost? And how do you afford it? This is interesting. Anyone remember in 2020, COVID? COVID? Okay. RNDC, Southern, and Breakthrough all went to online ordering for the stores to order to the distributor. So they were allowed to fire salespeople and push everyone to online ordering. Very profitable. Off-premise was off the hook, doing great. On-premise was closed, but off-premise was buying twice as much plus. So it was a great time for distributors. When COVID ended, RNDC was the slowest one to hire back. So the big brands did not get the attention they wanted. So the big brands said, forget it, I'm out. And that's what you're kind of seeing the shakeout now. This is not going to end with RNDC. This is a major shakeout. My guidance here would be have your plan B front and center. Have your plan, know what it is, because the more brands that aren't at RNDC, they're going to be fighting for your shelf space at Southern or somewhere else, or Breakthrough. They'll be fighting for the shelf. It's a real estate game. So those brands have to go somewhere or they're going to die. And when someone is backed into a corner, they're going to scratch their way out. So just something to think about from a plan B perspective. And this, if you don't know this one, you're out of business today. You've got to sell your own stuff. You've got to go to bars. You've got to buy your goods off the shelf. This is a great way to get ahead of what your competitors might not be doing. You are not in the liquor business in off-premise or on-premise. You are in the real estate business. You own real estate on a shelf. You've got to keep it. You've got to fight for it. And you've got to defend it. If you don't do that, someone is going to take it from you. If you're developing a cold drink for the cooler, for the icebox, that's the most valuable real estate in an off-premise store. If you've got a ready-to-drink or a beer of some sort, if you don't defend that space, then Bud or Miller or Molson or Coors will come after your spot, and you don't have the capital to fight that battle. So just always think about these things in terms of real estate, because that's where it's at. It's the real estate play of the adult beverage business. And consolidation means it's more on you. But now we're going to go positive. It's still the best industry in the world. It still has a 6% growth rate year over year. You had a COVID bump, it came back to normal, and it's still going up and to the right in terms of consumption. People are spending more in the stores. More cola, that's the word I was looking for earlier. More cola applications have gone into the government in Q2 and Q1 of 2025 than the year prior. More people are trying to make spirits. More people want to get in this industry. So what was the great phrase? The news of my death has been greatly exaggerated. The industry is resilient. It's been resilient. It's gone up and to the right since 1933, the year Prohibition ended. The key is, how do you afford it? And what do you do to preserve the capital that you have? Know your margins. Know the difference between gross margin and profit margin. When I was at Price Waterhouse and I was working with the big Pernod Ricard, Diageo, Constellation, Molson Coors, ABI, there were people that would come into our room and we present a business plan for growth, and the difference between gross margin and profit margin, which are totally different things, was not known. You have to know your numbers. And especially if you're sitting in front of someone like us at InvestBev and you want to sell your business or raise equity, if you don't know your numbers, you're bounced out of the room pretty quickly. You have to know your numbers. Have a price strategy. Know who your competition is. Go after them. Go fight for your shelf. The consumer doesn't know your brand until you tell them your brand exists. And I will tell you something else that might be a little hard to hear. So what, baby ears or earmuffs? No one cares about your brand. You all care about your brand. I care about your brand. We all care about your brand. Park Street cares about your brand. But at the end of the day, the average consumer in this country knows 11 brands. That's it. 11 brands. Just think about that. There's 4,000 brown spirits alone, and they know 11 brands. And they're the usuals, the Tito's, the Sapphire, the Hendricks, the Kendall Jackson Chardonnay. You've got to let them know you know your brand. Build loyal fans. No time like ever before has social media been your marketing department in your pocket. Take advantage of it and prioritize. Double down on SKUs that work, cut the SKUs that suck. You don't need 11 flavors. No one wants 11 flavors. The reason the flavors came into being, like Pinnacle Vodka, for instance, is because they were playing real estate. You've got 11 flavors of Pinnacle Vodka. You've got 2.5 feet of the shelf. And then it's 2.5 feet that someone else doesn't have. Forget it. You're light on capital. Focus on what works. Double down on it. That's what I have for you. We think, in general, this is the best time to be in this business. This is the best time. You've got the people that are undercapitalized are leaving the business. There's more drinkers than ever before. They're more open. The generation of drinkers is more open now to experiment and to try new things. They're not brand loyal, this generation. My grandfather drank Dewar's from birth to death. Now, people that are turning 21 will drink what makes them feel good, what they feel good about, right? So there's hope for us all. Some of the things I talked about in the deck, and I'm happy to make it available, but some of the things I talked about in the deck are just a few tidbits, a few talking points of how to run your brand in these challenging times. make your banker your best friend. Take them to sports events or her. Make sure your capital is secure, and the rest of the stuff is pretty easy to figure out. Thank you.